This was created by a guy who looks oddly similar to me, but has a different name. And then we have different views. Now, views are just different ways of showing the same data that you have. So if I click on public view, currently it just has the same things in there. Let's actually show closed information. So now we can see all of the closed items that were previously here. And then let's go to public view, and the public view is configured to only show the submitted items. You can share views publicly, which means then that you can give access to people outside of your organization to view this list of tasks as it appears here. If you notice, I've actually removed some of the columns versus having it in a list view where we've got created, username, etc. And when you publicly share something, you have the option to show or hide certain information from the public view. If you are used to working in a Kanban system, then you can come over to board view, and you can see a very familiar way of moving information across. Within the Kanban view, you can also show and hide different types of information and data. So you have all of the information readily accessible here. Let's go and open up one of the tasks. And now we can see that this is the actual task view. Over here, we have the title with a description text. All of our custom fields appear here. We can have subtasks up to 7 or 8 layers deep, I believe. You can have a checklist within a task, relationships, which is where you link back to items, and attachments. Alongside this as well, you have your task history, which shows you everything that has happened with this task, including when somebody puts in a comment. Let's close out of this now. And let's see what else we can do as a view within here. If you remember at the beginning here, I said, here's a little Miro board. Well, this is our voting board. When we want to vote on which features we will do next, or whether we will even do features, we can take the tasks into Miro, and then we can use this voting board document here. This is an embedded document from ClickUp, which can be embedded as a view. We can use Miro exactly as we want over here, or I can also add an embedded view directly. And then you can see the Miro board in the full screen over here. So you can have these set up in any way you wish. Moving along quickly, just to be aware of the time, into backlog. So once you've dealt with a request or an idea and you've accepted it, you can move it into the backlog. And the backlog is where then the product managers and product teams will start to plan out which items they want to do when. We can see we have, again, different views that just say, if something needs a priority, I would only want to see it here. If something is ready to be worked on, show it here. And again, we have a prioritization board, which we have in Miro for when we have those big team discussions and we want to visually organize how we're going to do everything. Coming then into features and improvements, you can see here all the various different statuses of the items. This is the actual active work. And you can see different custom fields in here now. And again, we will cover some of them very, very soon. And last but not least, here's the list or the catalog of products. And here you can see the various products with each of their features, when they are released, who the product owner is, etc. So let's have a little bit of fun. I have created a little form here, and I will share this with everybody. So let's come here and let's send this to panelists and attendees. This here is Acme Inc. And now those of you who are curiously looking at everything, you can think of Acme Inc. in the same way that most of us grew up watching those great cartoons. Acme Inc. produces tech products to help cats catch mice. Unfortunately, Tom and Jerry are now a little bit too old and they don't use technology, so it's quite inefficient. So I want you to go to that link and put in some feature requests. And somebody did mention, how can you bring data in? I'm going to put a timer up very soon, but you can put in your ideas and we will take some of your ideas and take them through the product flow, making the lists, making the tasks, and then we will carry them through to the various Miro boards. So if you want to go in there, I will add 2 minutes to the clock. Somebody did ask about the forms. You can always create a new form view. This will allow you to put in the various data fields and custom fields that you have associated with that task, set the various items as required or not required. You can rename them to any question you want. You can leave out certain data, and then when you're ready, you can view it, make sure everything looks good, and then copy the link and share that publicly. Doing this for feature requests and ideas is a great way to make sure that all of the ideas are there in the system here. So, okay, we've got quite a few coming in right now. Yeah, this is nice. Go ahead and keep adding them in. We've still got a minute left. So we're going to try and get a few more in here. You guys can see them all coming in. We've got some cool ones in here. Bucket with a trapdoor, cheese, import Tom's data for forecasting. That's a good one. Bouncy ball looks like a female mouse. Okay, a cheese trap. Screen trap, music to the mouse hunt. That will be an interesting one to do. Include some brie from Scott. Thank you very much, Scott.
Great.
This here is great. You don't need to add your email address. Don't worry about that at all, guys. And again, I'm trying to keep it from kind of showing up here. Put in a fake one. A weight-sensitive mousetrap by Mouse Tracker. Okay, we've got a lot of great ones in here. We've got 5 seconds left, and then we will start to take some of these through to Miro. So let's just wait last second there. Okay. So everyone, thank you very much for the really, really cool suggestions here. It almost makes me really want to start up a mouse catching tech company, AI to predict mouse location, use a glass edged with a matchstick. Okay, so we have lots, import data from Jira. Thank you, Bruno. I'm wondering right now how the mice are going to deal with that, but sure, we can do import data from Miro.
All right, so now that we have all of these ideas, right, how will we decide which ones we want to move forward with? And that just feels so real, right? I'm sure this is true at ClickUp, just feature requests coming in every day, just so much data. How do you prioritize? So we have created a fun activity here to show how you can use Miro and ClickUp together to help prioritize what you want to move forward with.
Okay, so the first step that we need to do is get the data from here, because there's a lot of data in here, and we want to make sure that it goes along really well and quickly. So I will simply just come up to the top here and go to export, and I'm going to select CSV, and I want task names only. That will just then download a CSV file to my system, and then I can simply copy and paste the content of that data into
a Miro board.
A Miro board.
So Miro has a pretty great feature built in that allows you to copy paste from spreadsheets directly to sticky notes. So you're capturing data from a survey, feature request list, task list, and you want to have more of an interactive prioritization experience. Just highlight the cells, copy, and then paste right onto your Miro board. You'll have free-form sticky notes that you can move around and cluster, vote on. We'll show you how to do all that. All right. I'm going to go onto the Miro board here. Do you want to keep sharing the Miro board right from within ClickUp?
Yep, I can do that right here. or actually we'll go to the embed view because then it's nice and full screen. So right now I'm just doing a copy paste. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, click anywhere and do Control V. And there we go. Like magic, we have then everybody's little suggestions here. Thank you everybody for not doing anything ridiculous or swearing, etc. I do appreciate you all keeping it clean. I don't particularly want to go back and blur things out for the YouTube video. So as you can see,
actually, Omar, if you want to switch to my view for this, so I can demo just how to like do the voting plugin. I don't know if it won't show up on yours still.
Sure. So we're going to switch over to Lindsay's screen now. There we go.
Awesome. All right. So now we have all of your awesome ideas in a manageable form that we can interact with here in Miro. So with our sticky notes, there's so much that we can do. We could take these sticky notes and start to cluster them, right? So let's say I'm seeing a lot of cheese here. So I could grab cheese, cheese, cheese. I could start to move these over and create a cluster. I can change the color of these so that they all look the same. And I could also add a tag. So I could add the tag cheese so that those will all stay together. Adding tags is cool as well because you can go from CSV to sticky. You can also go from sticky to CSV and your tags will export with you and go into that spreadsheet. So you can go in both directions there. But what we want to show you today is how you can use Miro to do a vote. So I'm going to start a voting plugin and Omar's on the board with me here. And I think some other ClickUppers are going to join us on the board. There's Holly, she's joining. Awesome, we can see her mouse. So what I can do, I'm the facilitator here. So I can actually, let's say that Holly and Omar were somewhere else on the screen. And I wanted to say, hey guys, I want you to come over here with me so that we can run a vote. I can go and say, bring everyone to me. And it will pull their cursors to where I am on the board. So it allows me to take control as a facilitator. And now I can start a vote. So let's do that. The bottom left-hand corner from our collaboration toolbar, I'm going to click voting. And I'm going to start my vote. So you can name the vote. You can set the duration. Let's be pretty quick. Let's go 2 minutes. And let's give everyone, we have a lot of ideas there. Let's do 5 votes. And then we're going to tell Miro what space we want to vote on. So we're just going to vote on this area here. Click done. And then what item type to vote on. So we're only going to vote on sticky notes. And we'll click start now. Now, Holly and Omar have gotten a pop-up that tells them to vote. If you see their mouse go up to the top right, they're clicking on the voting plugin here, and I'll do a vote as well. All right, so I'm going to vote. Let's see. I can't see Zoom chat, but let's vote for some cheese. Let's see. Oh, we gotta vote for the brie. Okay, great. So you can see that I'm done with my votes. I've added 5, so the pluses all went away. If I remove a vote, then the pluses reappear, telling me which items I can vote on. And I'll click done. So now we're just waiting for Omar and Holly to finish voting. Omar, have you already voted?
Done.
You're all done? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end voting for all. And let's see what we get. Awesome. So Mira's calculated the results for us, and we can see that our votes are pretty spread out, but we can see which items got the most votes here. So we've got include some brie as the most requested item. So what's great about this as well is the vote dots stay attached to the sticky notes. So I could easily just create a prioritized list based on these. You know, cheese and cheese got, so maybe we'll count that as 2, right? And so now we can take these ideas and we can move them forward and decide which we want to execute on. So we have on the right-hand side another template here where we have just some buckets of what we want to do with these different features. And we have move to backlog for our highly voted items. We have monitor for the items that maybe didn't get as many votes, and then do not do for the ones that we're not going to move forward with. So what we can do is we can move these over to this area. We can say we're going to include brie. That's going to be the item we're going to move forward with. We have some other items that we're going to monitor. And then let's say maybe these ones didn't get any votes, then we can move these to the do not do. And there you have it. You have a fun and interactive voting session to help you prioritize what to move forward with. in Miro. And now you can take these items and actually move them forward in ClickUp. Omar, do you want to show them how to do that?
So welcome back to ClickUp here. As you can see, everything is live and updating exactly as it happens. We just wanted to share a full screen with you and let Lindsay take control so she can show you every single one of the features. So as we see, we've got one item which we said we're going to move to a backlog. We've got some others that we decided to monitor and some other items that we decided, let's not do them. They're a little bit out of what we want to actually build or our vision for the product. Again, one of your roles as a product manager is to prioritize things, see which ideas and feature requests come in and add value, and decide whether some things you want to do them or not. Sometimes you may find a repeating request, like the cheese. Then you can monitor it and keep an eye on there. So if we come back now into our list view, we can see here's all of the tasks that were already there. And let me just double check. We wanted the brie, so I can quickly search for brie. And you can see here there's a custom field called move to backlog. So this is a custom field. It's just simply a checkbox, but what happens is an automation. And if you see our little cool robot guy in the upper right here, you can have a look and see we've got one active automation. So it says that when a custom field changes, change the status and create a task. So let's see then what happens when we click on this. And you can also reorganize your other items into monitor or do not do. Just to stay on time with the webinar, we won't go into too much detail or keep moving every single item over. But we did select move to backlog and we can see the status changed to move to backlog. But then now if we come into backlog, we will see there is a new FR, a new feature request. This was automatically generated by the automation and it says include some brie. Having a look in here, we can see that it was maybe melted with some almond slices by ClickBot, because this is the ClickBot that actually created the task for us. And it gives us an ID back to the original feature request. We are updating our automations very soon, which will then allow a lot more data to come through. But for now, we can add a relation of just putting in the ID and saying this backlog item is related to this feature request here. So now that we have a few items, if we come back here.
Should we add a couple to the list? Should you just generate?
Yep, let's add a few more. So I'm just going to come in here and randomly tick some of these. Let's get mouse size ears. Let's get a cheese trap. Let's get music to the mouse hunt. And get a cat. Well,
was that a younger, better cat, a more agile cat? Are we retiring, Tom?
Well, guys, if you are interested, Acme Inc. does have a RoboCat for those of you with mice problems. This is coming in Q2 2021. Just go to acmeinc and you might be able to order one. This is all make-believe as well, so please don't come back to me demanding your RoboCat. Okay, so we can see here now we have quite a few feature requests and their status is needs priority.
How will we give them a priority?
Yep. So when something enters the backlog, you need to give it a priority. And by giving it a priority, it will allow you to organize items and your workflow. If you have note at the right-hand side here, we have a time in status column. This tells you how long an item has been waiting for a priority or in whichever status it is. Again, as product managers, quite often a feature request will come through, something will enter the backlog and years will go by and nobody will ever see it again. So by having this time in status over here, you can actually sort your tasks by this column and see which items have been in the status the longest and start to prioritize them there. So we have these items here. They all have their little descriptions with little bits of information in there. And what I'm going to do is, again, just simply going to export task names only, and then we will move that into a different board here in Miro. So Lindsay, if you would like to share, remember guys, we do have it as well embedded here, but just for the purpose of this webinar, we will make everything bigger for you and clearer. So let's go over to Lindsay's screen.
All right, so I think I'm the facilitator in this role play here. So I'm waiting for Omar to deliver the data. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through a simulation of how we might prioritize these 6 items. All right, so, oh, nice. Let's make those bigger. So we have 6 feature requests here. We have cheese simulation, brie, mouse size ears, get a cat, add music, and cheese trap. And for this one, instead of voting, this isn't a ton of items. We thought that a better way to prioritize would be to do an impact and effort matrix. So in this example, what we would do here as a team is just have a discussion and map these to help us decide what we want to move forward with. So maybe we can just try a couple. All right, so Omar, what do you think here about cat-sized mouse ears in terms of high impact and high effort?
So looking through over here, I think as a tech company, cat-sized mouse ears could be and you guys can see everything as I'm dragging it as well on the screen. This is a high effort, but it is also a high impact item. So if we move this over here, then we have
we've never manufactured anything before, so we have to open up a whole new line of business to make that happen.
But that's okay. I'm sure we can find a local partner who will be able to do that with us. How about for the cheese trap, Lindsay?
The cheese trap. The cheese trap seems pretty standard, and it also seems very effective. It's been around for many years. I kind of think this is a high impact, low effort item.
Okay, that's a good one.
Not a lot of innovation needed there.
Sorry?
There's not a lot of innovation needed there, so I think we could make that one happen pretty easily.
Yeah, definitely sounds good. Cheese simulation system. That is quite high effort, especially since we're going to really need to prioritize, like simulate cheese. I don't know how you would do that, but it would have a high impact because then we could really go and catch a lot of mice.
Yeah, I kind of think getting a cat maybe over here, high impact, low impact, high effort. How are we going to recruit this cat, and will they even chase, or will they just sleep all day? We don't know.
Yep.
Oh,
oops.
I can just lock that down. That's a good opportunity. As a facilitator, you can click lock, boop, and now no one can move it.
All right.
Well, let's just put these on, and now we have shown how you can. We have this awesome visual impact map here. We have also had a nice interactive meeting where we made this a really collaborative and inclusive experience for the whole team. Now, also, as we put this into ClickUp, people can look back, they can see this information, they can see why we made these decisions, and it stays collaborative. So we can use commenting to say like, hey, can you give me some context on this? And so we can keep the lines of communication open on the information we are putting into ClickUp. And these are living documents, right? So if things change, what's in ClickUp will stay up to date. You're not dealing with like PDFs that are getting out of date or anything like that. So it's a great way to share context as you move into execution. Shall we go back into ClickUp? I think maybe you're muted.
Yep, there we go. I'm back. So now we can see these items are here in ClickUp. And if we wanted to, we could simply then come into our catalog of items, and we can say for the cheese simulation system, this was a now, this was a next. We can even put them as later and as never. The current integration with Miro is going to be upgraded later on this year, which will allow amazing click, drag, drop, import, and export directly of information. So that is something to look forward to. And in the meantime, you can already use it in embedding and doing the various items here. We are starting to slowly run out of time. So I will try and rush through a few things coming up. So let's have a look at some more items and ways that you can use Miro within your ClickUp items. So here's a mobile app navigation for the cat catching company. This is loaded in via a template, and you can create your own templates that will then be that you can apply automatically using an automation, or you can also apply them manually. You can see here we have added in a wireframe. So if I zoom into this, you can see the wireframe for the app navigation right here. So again, you can use Miro's wireframing features to come in and create wireframes directly in the tasks. And we've just attached a design item here. Depending on which design system you're using, you can either upload images, or we do have direct integrations with various others. Now, imagine that you want to explain this wireframe here to the engineering team. You can come at the bottom here and tap on this record button, and then that will allow you to record and embed a ClickUp clip. It's quite a mouthful. ClickUp clip. ClickUp clip. That then people can watch and play through and see everything here. They can make it full screen, they can download it, and you can attach the clips in various other places. Here's a lot of additional stuff, and you can see how the different types of data can be attributed to different types of tasks. We have a lot of webinars covering custom fields, covering how to attach items, covering relationships. Be sure to go and check out a lot of them all over the place. It's clickup.com/webinars, and you will have a great overview. Another way that you can use the ClickUp items is within docs. So for example, if I had a storyboard which is related to an item, I can put here the link to the meeting, who was in attendance, some of our notes, and then we have a visual copy of the exact board as they would have seen it and dealt with it in Miro. So this here then becomes your living documentation. You can see this here is attached to the mobile app navigation. And if I come through here, let me just quickly go back to, there we go. If we come down to the bottom here, we will see that there is a relationship with a doc called the storyboard meeting, which is where we just were. Thank you. I don't think we have much time left. I see some people have to drop off for another meeting. We are very sorry that we went over the time a little bit. Let's open up the floor to some questions for those of you who are still here. If you have ideas for webinars, please ask. If you want us to go into more detail on some items, feel free to ask. Also check out the ClickUp webinars that already exist. We do have a lot of webinars out there covering all of the topics that we've spoken about today. Again, the Miro integration is having a complete revamp later on. So by you using it, it will boost up its priority, and you can also give us feedback about what you would like to see in there and how you would like to see the functionality working. Lindsay, do you have anything that you want to cover? And we can go over the last few questions that are here, if there are any.
Yeah, I can stay on for a few extra minutes for sure. Let's see, should we go into the Q&A?
Let's go in. So Romans is asking, Miro versus Mural, what's the key differences?
Okay, so, well, not really the point of this, this webinar here, but some of the key differences are just in terms of use cases. Murals typically more for like design thinking and UX, whereas Miro, our approach has been to be much more horizontal and accessible to non-designers. The app also, our app is also an infinite canvas. It supports hundreds of simultaneous users. And I think we have probably about 3 times the amount of templates just based on our ability to be more of a horizontal tool. But there are definitely resources where you can find those differences online as well. I think a lot of people do articles and videos about the differences. So maybe if you YouTube search it, it could be a good way to kind of get more specifics on that. Cool. What else?
Maybe let's see if there's any additional last minute ones. How was the Miro board frozen with the current solution in place, like a screenshot and ClickUp? That's a very good one. Let me show you here. So the Miro board will remember your last positioning, or as a default positioning within there. So because last time I zoomed in a little bit, it remembered where I was. Lindsay, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can set a default viewpoint.
You can set a start view so that whenever that board loads, it will load to that specific area on the board. Absolutely. You can also, we have a notes feature on the right-hand side. So that little, it looks like a piece of paper. So that's our notes feature. You can pin that open and actually kind of build your own navigation. So if you have a lot on the board, you can put links in there for people to quickly access different areas of the board.
Brilliant.
I see someone asking if they get a deal for Miro today. Miro is has a free plan that's free forever. It's 3 boards. So you can absolutely just go in there and get started. Unlimited users and 3 boards.
Yep, brilliant. And I'm sure that someone from our team will post the link into the chat for you all. There's a lot of questions here. Unfortunately, maybe we won't have an opportunity to go through them all. If not, then we will try to reach out to you and give you some additional support in there. Thank you, everybody. I see a lot of thank you messages. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you so much. The recording of this will be up on our YouTube channel a little bit later on. Please also go to clickup.com/webinar, see what other webinars you have, or we have, sorry, coming up very soon. And feel free to always recommend and suggest webinars or request webinars. I have been Omar for ClickUp, and Lindsay.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Omar. It's been so fun to show you how Miro and ClickUp can work together and how you guys can move from idea into execution. What a great hour. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and good luck using Miro, and we hope to see you in both platforms very soon and on another webinar as well. Take care. Bye-bye.